the undersea world of New Guinea's Bismarck Archipelago. One of the ocean realm's richest marine environments. Its remarkable biodiversity is unparalleled. These reefs host an extraordinary number and variety of species. Today, we'll explore the fascinating waters of New Guinea's Bismarck Sea. Here, we'll study a tropical coral reef ecosystem and its intricate web of life. We'll examine several poisonous fish and learn how their toxins affect our nervous system. And witness the astonishing behavior of cephalopods, like the octopus and cuttlefish. We'll highlight efforts to protect New Guinea's fragile coral reefs with permanent moorings. And finally, we'll reflect on one of World War II's most destructive battlegrounds and the relics left behind on the ocean floor of New Guinea. New Guinea is the last in a chain of islands lying between Southeast Asia and the vast Pacific Ocean. In September 1994, major volcanic eruptions buried the scenic seaport of Rabaul in several feet of ash. Years later, much of the town is still covered in a thick layer of volcanic dust and twisted debris. The volcanoes that surround the harbor are still active, randomly spewing ash into the air. Eons of violent tectonic activity created a foundation in New Guinea for an extremely rich and diverse undersea landscape. The immense biodiversity of marine flora and fauna is second in magnitude to nowhere else on Earth. Over time, volcanic action has formed countless undersea mountains, pinnacles, and reefs, many of which lie just below the surface. Nutrient-laden waters, fed by geothermal action, rise upward, fostering a rich smorgasbord of tiny marine animals. These planktonic species form the first link in a thriving marine food chain. We began our journey with a flight from the Australian city of Cairns. From Cairns, we flew north to New Guinea's capital city, Port Moresby, with a short connecting flight to the island of New Britain. At the port of Rabaul, we joined the Star Dancer, a 120-foot live-aboard diving vessel. Part of the Peter Hughes fleet, we traveled aboard the Star Dancer into the heart of New Guinea's remarkable Bismarck Sea. The Bismarck Sea is one of the last pristine undersea realms left in the world. With relatively little industrial development and no commercial fishery, New Guinea has a marine environment almost untouched by man. New Guinea's reefs are an explosion of species, remarkable examples of intact, healthy coral reef ecosystems. Vast undersea armies of schooling tropical fish patrol these reefs. Most feast on plankton that rises from the cold, nutrient-rich depths. The smaller fish hover close to the corals for protection from larger predators, darting into the water column to feed only when the coast is clear. Colorful anthias are one of the most conspicuous species on the reef. These fascinating fish have a unique way of dealing with predation. When a male is killed, a female will change sex to replace him. Dominant males may then preside over a harem of dozens of females. Damselfish never stray far from the protection of their reef home. Jagged fingers of coral protect the fish from harm. Some of the most attractive and curious animals on the reef are anemone fish, more commonly known as clownfish. New Guinea has the largest concentration of these fish in the world. 10 of 25 known species are found in these waters. They live among the stinging tentacles of the fish-eating anemone. Immune to the anemone's stinging barbs, the clownfish keeps its host clean in exchange for protection from predators. Unlike anthias, which are all born female, clownfish are born as males. When the need arises, a male will change sex. If a dominant female dies, the largest male changes sex and takes her place, and the largest of the remaining males becomes its partner. Males are given the responsibility of caring for the clutch of over 500 eggs, constantly fanning them to circulate oxygen. When an anemone traps a fish, it closes its tentacles into a tight ball, leaving only a small area for their tenants to hide. These agitated pink clownfish are now more vulnerable to predators. Larger plankton eaters stray higher into the water column. Pyramid butterfly fish feed exclusively on tiny planktonic animals. Fusiliers gather in immense schools, constantly moving in search of food that drifts in the currents. Beautiful and ornate batfish slowly drift above the reef. An intensely curious fish, they frequently approach and follow divers. Closer to the top of the food chain, larger and faster predators are on constant patrol. Bluefin trevally jacks are one of the fastest hunters, capable of lightning-quick speed. And the top predators are, of course, sharks. These efficient and ancient hunters are never far from the action. Back on the reef, countless invertebrates filter the water of plankton. The giant clam can grow to hundreds of pounds. It continually siphons seawater of microscopic animals. Crinoids, more commonly known as feather stars, are some of the reef's most colorful residents. Every hue of the rainbow is represented with this distinct species. Gently waving in the current, feather stars efficiently trap tiny animals as they drift by. No other fish or animal is known to feed on feather stars. In the absence of light, a completely different cast of characters make an appearance. Menacing moray eels roam about the reef, searching for sleeping fish. A lizardfish bears a striking set of razor-sharp teeth. Probably the most bizarre and intelligent of the night creatures are the cephalopods, more commonly known as octopus, squid, and cuttlefish. These wily invertebrates depend on their mastery of stealth and disguise to survive. The octopus has a larger brain size to body weight ratio than any invertebrate. They are believed to have a level of intelligence similar to that of the common cat. High praise indeed. True masters of disguise, octopus, squid, and cuttlefish are able to change color and appearance in an instant. They can also alter the texture of their skin, mimicking the underlying reef, or even a diver's hand. A cuttlefish demonstrates this remarkable ability. The octopus uses its 8 arms to crawl along the reef, and when in need of greater speed, can expel water from its body cavity. Cuttlefish use fins that completely surround the edge of their body and, like the octopus, can also use expelled water as a means of propulsion. Intelligent and alien, colorful yet mysterious, cephalopods never cease to amaze us. Of all the predators of New Guinea's reefs, the family Scorpinidae, more commonly known as stone, lion, or scorpion fish, are the most venomous. All have dorsal spines that, when touched, discharge a poison virulent enough to cause at best severe pain and at worst death. This mechanism is merely a defense, as most members of this family are ambush or decoy predators. Many are indistinguishable from the reef. They lie in wait patiently for an unwary passerby who veers too close to their cavernous mouth. Others are more flamboyant in appearance. Their finery has inspired many names: lion, zebra, and even firefish. Many biologists now call them turkeyfish, alluding to their feather-like pectoral fins. With all its frills, the slow-moving fish should be an easy mark for predators. It is, in fact, a well-protected hunter, with a shield of pelvic, anal, and dorsal fins, all loaded with venom. The demon stingerfish has pectoral fin rays covered in hard cuticles, which allow it to walk along the bottom. The highly venomous stargazer buries itself in the sand to hide its presence. Perhaps the most ornate of the scorpion fish, the Rhinopeus, is easily one of nature's most eccentric creations. This family counts more than 300 species worldwide, ranging from extravagant beauties like this turkeyfish to the nightmarish stonefish, the most venomous fish in the world.
There's one particularly beautiful but really dangerous family of fish. They include the stonefish, the scorpionfish, and the lionfish. Of this family, the stonefish are clearly the worst. Very well hidden, very well camouflaged, and the venom is incredibly toxic. People describe wanting to commit suicide or have themselves be put out of their misery when they get a stonefish envenomation. The scorpionfish family, the type of toxin you get, mostly acts on the nerve. Some stimulate the nerves, and that causes the intense pain. In the really bad envenomations, particularly a stonefish where you stop breathing, or with a cone shell envenomation, they're really acting on your nervous system. They basically suppress it, and you literally lose the ability to breathe. The scary part is you are wide awake. You may not be able to breathe. You may be laying there like a rag doll, but you simply are unable to breathe. The cone shell, for example, is one of the most poisonous things that you can actually get stung with, particularly in the Western Pacific. On a milligram per milligram basis, it's probably the deadliest toxin we find in nature. The cone shell toxin, if you do manage to get stung, let's say you pick it up, the greatest risk is that you'll stop breathing. The risk is greatest the bigger the cone shell and the smaller the person. Of all the snakes, sea snakes have some of the most potent venom we know of. Very neurotoxic, doesn't damage your tissue the way a rattlesnake bite does, but very neurotoxic. Again, if after a significant envenomation, you just very peacefully lose your ability to breathe.
One of the many problems facing tropical reefs is anchoring. Anchors can cause immense damage when dragged across a coral head or the bottom features of a bay or lagoon. Slow-growing corals and other invertebrates are destroyed in an instant as the heavy metal objects smash into the reef. With an increase in tourism in New Guinea and other diving destinations, conservation groups and diving organizations have identified a growing need for permanent moorings. With a mooring pin like this stainless steel ring, larger vessels can safely tie onto a reef without causing any serious damage. A hydraulic drill and generator are positioned above the reef in a small boat. A diver proceeds to bore a large hole into the coral. Powered by water pressure, the drill slowly carves into the reef. The core samples reveal corals hundreds, perhaps thousands of years old. Quick-setting cement is brought from the surface to seal the pin in place. In only a few hours' time, the mixture hardens and a coral reef has a new permanent mooring pin. The roughly 20,000 square miles of the Bismarck Sea are a stark contradiction. One of the most beautiful undersea realms in the world, they hold a dark secret from the not-too-distant past. In the early years of World War II, the waters of eastern New Guinea were some of the most active, tumultuous, and lethal on Earth. Thousands of ships and aircraft were lost in fierce fighting between the Japanese and the Allies. Countless souls were lost in these placid seas. Intricate cave systems carved in the limestone cliffs surrounding Rabaul are reminders of the Japanese occupation. As soon as the war was over, the Bismarck Sea was all but forgotten. With the advent of diving tourism in the last decade, these remarkable ships and aircraft are seeing new life as teeming artificial reefs. The Mitsubishi biplane, even though it's been in the water for over 50 years, it's still in remarkable condition. Used for low-level reconnaissance, the slow, outdated plane was no match for more modern fighters. Its fixed wings are still intact, now hosts to encrusting invertebrates. These battle tanks were found beside the tattered remains of a sunken barge. They were likely cargo on the doomed ship. Now resting in shallow water, the tanks were never to see action in the Pacific theater of war. Like many of the World War II relics on the ocean bottom, they've remained in remarkably good shape. This merchant ship was bombed from the air by American fighters. Her captain, sensing that the ship was destined to sink, tried to ram the bow into the shoreline. Most of the crew were able to swim to safety, but the hull slid down a steep wall, finally stopping in almost 200 feet of water. Tattered relics and debris now litter the rusting decks of the ship. Almost as soon as these machines of war died in the sea, the ocean realm began to give them new life. What had once been objects of destruction were now living monuments to the endurance and power of nature. On the bottom of New Guinea's Bismarck Sea.